In 2025, more people than ever before are packing up and leaving some of the UK's biggest cities. Not for adventure, but for survival. Rents are rising by over 10% per year in many urban areas. And in some cities, more than 50% of residents' income now goes straight to housing. That's not just uncomfortable, it's unsustainable. Imagine living in a city where you work full-time but still can't afford your rent, where public transport is unreliable, and streets that once felt safe now feel tense after dark. This isn't science fiction, it's the reality in several major UK cities right now. From crime spikes and pollution warnings to economic downturns and broken infrastructure, the places that once promised opportunity and growth are now pushing people away. Families, students, and professionals alike are all asking the same question. Is it still worth living here? In this video, we'll count down the 10 biggest cities in the UK that people are seriously considering leaving in 2025. And we're not talking about small towns or obscure places. These are major, well-known urban centres that are facing real and rising problems. Some names on this list won't surprise you, but a few might just shock you. If you live in one of these cities right now, this could be the wake-up call you didn't expect. Number 10. Leeds. Once celebrated as the economic engine of the North, Leeds is now facing serious growing pains. In 2025, it's becoming increasingly clear that Leeds is struggling to sustain its rapid growth, and residents are feeling the pressure. One of the biggest concerns is the soaring cost of housing. Over the past 5 years, rents in Leeds have increased by more than 40%, pushing many locals to the outskirts of the city or forcing them to relocate entirely. First-time buyers are also finding it nearly impossible to get on the property ladder, with house prices rising faster than wages. The dream of affordable northern living is starting to vanish. But it's not just about affordability. Congestion has become a daily frustration for commuters, with limited public transport options and an overburdened road network. While investment in infrastructure has been promised, progress has been slow. Residents often find themselves spending hours in traffic, especially during peak times. Leeds is also grappling with rising levels of air pollution, much of it driven by this traffic problem. In some areas, pollution levels now exceed recommended safety limits, contributing to respiratory issues and reducing overall quality of life. Meanwhile, public services are under strain. As the population grows, schools, hospitals, and waste management systems are struggling to keep up, leading to longer waiting times and declining service quality. While Leeds still offers job opportunities and a vibrant cultural scene, more and more people are questioning whether the cost of living and quality of life trade-off is worth it. So, if you're living in Leeds or thinking about moving there, 2025 might be the year to reconsider your options. Number 9. Bristol. Bristol has long been known for its creative energy, independent spirit, and a strong sense of community. But beneath the surface, the city is becoming increasingly unaffordable for the average resident. In 2025, Bristol's cost of living is now comparable to parts of London, without offering the same volume of high-paying jobs. Rent prices have skyrocketed in central areas like Clifton and Redland, with some locals paying upwards of £1,500 per month for a one-bedroom flat. And it's not just rent. Food, transportation, and utility costs are also steadily climbing. One major challenge is the gap between wages and expenses. Many residents in education, healthcare, and hospitality are being priced out, despite working full-time. The result? A growing sense of inequality, even in one of the UK's most livable cities. On top of that, Bristol's infrastructure is under pressure. Public transport is unreliable, and ongoing roadworks add daily frustration for commuters. Green spaces like Ashton Court and the Downs remain a bright spot, but even these are seeing more foot traffic as people look for low-cost ways to unwind. While Bristol continues to attract students, creatives, and remote workers, the long-term sustainability of living here is in question. Locals are increasingly considering nearby towns like Bath or Weston-super-Mare, where housing is cheaper and life moves a little slower. In 2025, Bristol may be beautiful, but it's quickly becoming out of reach for many. Number 8. Cardiff. As the capital of Wales, Cardiff has always held a unique charm. A blend of history, culture, and coastal living. But in 2025, the city is facing growing concerns that are making many residents reconsider their future here. One of the biggest red flags is the city's rising crime rate. In recent years, Cardiff has seen an increase in antisocial behaviour, theft, and violent incidents, especially in inner-city districts like Splot and Grangetown. For families and students alike, personal safety is becoming a serious issue. Economically, Cardiff is also slowing down. While the city once promised booming job prospects, especially in sectors like media and government, recent data shows a rise in unemployment, particularly among young adults and recent graduates. The cost of housing has also surged, without a proportional rise in wages. Meanwhile, public transport remains limited, making commuting across the city frustrating and time-consuming. Projects aimed at expanding rail and bus networks have stalled, leaving many dependent on cars in a city not built for heavy traffic. Despite its scenic spots like Cardiff Bay and Bute Park, the daily reality of life in Cardiff is becoming harder to justify. Residents looking for safer streets, stronger career growth, and more affordable living are exploring other cities in Wales or even further afield. Cardiff may still be a cultural gem, but its growing pains in 2025 are hard to ignore. Number 7. Nottingham. At first glance, Nottingham offers everything you'd expect from a major UK city: a rich history, 2 major universities, and a central location. But in 2025, many locals are beginning to feel that Nottingham is falling behind. One of the most pressing issues is the state of the city's infrastructure. Roads are riddled with potholes, public transport is patchy, and ongoing cuts to council funding have left many basic services understaffed or delayed. As a result, daily life in Nottingham often involves long wait times, traffic congestion, and unreliable public services. Crime is also a growing concern. Certain neighbourhoods like St Anne's and the Meadows have seen a steady rise in burglaries, drug activity, and antisocial behaviour. While the city centre remains lively, many residents now avoid going out after dark due to safety concerns. Housing presents its own challenges. While prices are still lower than in cities like London or Bristol, demand has surged. This has led to rising rents, competition for decent flats, and declining housing standards in some areas. Students, in particular, report issues with poor landlord practices and subpar accommodations. Culturally, Nottingham still shines. With venues like Rock City, Nottingham Playhouse, and a buzzing food scene, but for many, the day-to-day struggles are beginning to outweigh the perks. If you're thinking about settling in Nottingham or already live there, it might be time to ask, is the quality of life still worth the compromises in 2025? Number 6. Birmingham. Birmingham, the UK's second largest city, has always been a symbol of industry, diversity, and opportunity. But in 2025, it's becoming increasingly clear that size isn't everything, and many residents are starting to feel the strain of living in this sprawling metropolis. One of the city's biggest issues is overdevelopment. Rapid expansion has led to crowded neighbourhoods, with new apartment blocks replacing green spaces and historical areas losing their charm. Residents often describe the city as feeling overbuilt and claustrophobic, especially in areas like Digbeth and Small Heath. Traffic congestion is another major headache. Despite the presence of trams and buses, the public transport system remains unreliable and overburdened. Commuters report delays of up to 45 minutes during rush hour, and air pollution levels continue to climb as more cars fill the roads. In some districts, pollution now exceeds legal limits, contributing to asthma and respiratory problems, especially among children. Housing in Birmingham is also becoming problematic. Although it was once considered an affordable alternative to London, that's quickly changing. Rent and home prices have risen significantly, especially near the city centre and university zones, putting pressure on families, students, and professionals alike. On top of all this, there are growing concerns around crime, particularly in outer districts. Reports of theft, drug activity, and gang-related incidents have been steadily increasing, making safety a top concern for many households. Despite its strong cultural scene, iconic attractions like the Bull Ring, and a booming student population, the overall quality of life in Birmingham is slipping. In 2025, more people are beginning to ask themselves, is it still worth living in a city that feels like it's outgrowing itself? Number 5. Manchester. Manchester has long been seen as the northern powerhouse of the UK, a hub for music, innovation, and urban revival. But in 2025, the city's booming popularity is creating serious growing pains, making it one of the top places people are considering leaving. One of the most pressing concerns is the affordability crisis. Over the last 5 years, rents in Manchester have soared, with the average now exceeding £1,200 per month for a one-bedroom flat. For young professionals and students, that figure is increasingly out of reach. Meanwhile, house prices have jumped, leaving first-time buyers priced out of many neighbourhoods. Another major issue is the rise in homelessness. Despite ongoing regeneration projects, visible homelessness has become more common, particularly in central areas like Piccadilly Gardens and Oxford Road. Support services are under pressure, and many locals feel that the city is failing its most vulnerable. The infrastructure is also struggling to cope. From delayed Metrolink trams to overcrowded buses, getting around has become more frustrating than ever. And while Manchester is still known for its vibrant energy, that vibrancy is being dulled by construction noise, traffic congestion, and pollution. Safety is another concern. Although not the most dangerous UK city statistically, reports of knife crime and gang-related violence have made headlines in recent years. Some areas are now seen as unsafe after dark, particularly by families and students. Manchester's cultural legacy is still strong, with iconic venues, thriving nightlife, and a world-class music scene. But for many, the cost of living and social challenges are starting to outweigh the benefits. In 2025, the city's rapid growth may be pushing people out just as quickly as it pulls others in. Number 4. Edinburgh. Edinburgh is often praised as one of the most picturesque cities in the UK, with its historic skyline, stunning architecture, and rich cultural heritage. But in 2025, many locals are finding that the charm of the Scottish capital comes at a steep cost. Quite literally. One of the biggest concerns is the city's housing crisis. Over the past few years, property prices have skyrocketed, driven in part by an explosion in short-term holiday lets, like Airbnb. In areas such as Leith and Old Town, long-term rental options have become scarce, and those that remain are often unaffordable for average earners. The result? More locals are being pushed to the outskirts or out of the city entirely. Tourism, while a major economic driver, has also led to overcrowding, especially during the Edinburgh festival season. Public spaces, transport, and local services are often stretched to the limit, leaving residents feeling like guests in their own city. The cost of living is another growing issue. From groceries to public transport, everyday expenses are steadily rising, yet wages have remained relatively stagnant. This imbalance is making it harder for young professionals, students, and families to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Despite its beauty, Edinburgh is becoming less livable for those who aren't earning top salaries or benefiting from tourism. Many are now exploring more affordable Scottish cities, like Dundee or Stirling, as practical alternatives. In 2025, living in Edinburgh might look great on Instagram, but it's becoming harder to sustain in real life. Number 3. Liverpool. Liverpool is a city full of history, pride, and character. Once a major economic and maritime powerhouse, it has reinvented itself over the years with music, sport, and tourism at the heart of its appeal. But in 2025, many residents feel that Liverpool is no longer progressing. It's stalling. A key issue is the city's struggling economy. Once buoyed by large-scale investments and regeneration projects, growth has recently slowed considerably. Businesses have been cautious, and new job opportunities are becoming harder to find, especially in professional sectors. The departure of key investors and cuts in public funding have left several projects unfinished or abandoned. As economic momentum slows, unemployment and underemployment are on the rise. Many locals find themselves in low-wage service jobs with limited career prospects. Young professionals are increasingly leaving the city for better opportunities elsewhere. Infrastructure is also lagging behind. Public transport systems are outdated, and roads are congested and poorly maintained. The city centre, while lively, can feel neglected just a few streets away, with visible signs of urban decay in areas like Kensington and Toxteth. Crime rates have also ticked upward in some districts, adding to concerns about safety and community stability. Combined with rising housing costs, many families are now reconsidering whether Liverpool is still the best place to build a future. While the city's cultural heart beats strong, with icons like the Cavern Club and Anfield Stadium, the day-to-day reality paints a different picture. In 2025, Liverpool feels like a city that needs direction, and residents are beginning to look elsewhere for it. Number 2. London. London, the beating heart of the UK, remains a global icon, a centre of finance, culture, fashion, and innovation. But in 2025, the capital city is facing serious challenges that are making even lifelong Londoners question if it's still worth staying. The most obvious issue is the sky-high cost of living. London has always been expensive, but inflation and stagnant wages have pushed the average cost of rent and essentials to record-breaking levels. A one-bedroom flat in a decent area can easily exceed £2,000 per month, and that's before bills, transport and food. For many residents, more than half of their income goes toward rent, leaving little for savings or quality of life. The financial stress is especially heavy on young professionals, students, and low to middle income families. Commutes are also taking a toll. While the tube system is extensive, it's often overcrowded, unreliable, and costly. Rush hour travel in zones 1 through 3 can feel like a daily battle, and delays are an almost guaranteed part of the routine. Mental health concerns are rising as well. The city's relentless pace, intense competition, and isolation, despite the crowds, have contributed to a growing sense of burnout. According to recent surveys, stress and anxiety levels among Londoners are significantly above the national average. Even safety is becoming a growing concern. Although not the most dangerous city, knife crime and street violence are making headlines more frequently, particularly in outer boroughs. Yes, London offers unmatched opportunities, but they come at a steep price. In 2025, many are concluding that the cost of success in London may no longer be worth the personal sacrifice. Number 1. Glasgow. At the top of the list is Glasgow, a city once known for its grit, resilience, and cultural spirit, but now facing a series of challenges that are prompting many to leave in 2025. One of the most concerning issues is the city's high crime rate. Glasgow consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in the UK, with violent crime, drug abuse, and gang-related activity impacting both city centre and suburban communities. In areas like Postle Park and Drumchapel, residents report feeling unsafe even during the day. Health outcomes in Glasgow are also alarmingly poor. The city has one of the lowest life expectancies in the UK, particularly among men. Long-standing issues like alcohol abuse, smoking, and poverty-related illnesses continue to affect thousands. Despite efforts to improve public health, access to quality healthcare remains uneven, especially in deprived areas. Economically, Glasgow is struggling to keep pace. While there are bright spots in the tech and creative sectors, job opportunities are limited, and youth unemployment remains high. The result is a growing sense of disconnection and frustration among younger generations. Even housing, once considered affordable, is becoming harder to access. Rents are rising, and social housing waiting lists are long, pushing more people into unstable living conditions. Glasgow still has vibrant energy, from its music scene to its sense of humour. But in 2025, the city's systemic problems are forcing many residents to rethink their future here. Living in a major UK city used to be a symbol of progress, access to jobs, culture, and endless opportunities. But in 2025, that image is beginning to crack. As we've seen, cities once praised for their growth and vibrancy are now battling issues like unaffordable housing, rising crime, overwhelmed infrastructure, and a declining quality of life. From Glasgow's health crisis to London's burnout culture, the challenges are real and growing fast. It's not about abandoning cities altogether. It's about recognising when the cost of staying outweighs the benefits. People are no longer waiting for conditions to improve. They're making moves to smaller towns, remote locations, or even outside the UK altogether, in search of peace, balance, and financial relief. But here's the truth: no city is perfect. The important question is whether your city is still serving you, whether it supports your goals, your well-being, and your future. If not, maybe it's time to re-evaluate where you call home. So what do you think? Is your city on this list? Are you planning to move? Or already have? We'd love to hear your personal story in the comments below. Your experience might just help someone else make a life-changing decision. We put a lot of time, research, and care into creating videos like this. So if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us. Thanks for watching.